Hey guys, I've been getting a lot of tweets and stuff about this video. I know I'm behind. I mentioned that it would be late this week, and that's because I drove to Chattanooga and back. That's an 800-mile trip that I wasn't planning on making at the beginning of this week. I had no idea I was going to do it. I bought a trailer. I had to go there, pick it up, and come back, and it threw me off for the whole week. I'm way behind now, and that's why this is happening on a Friday. It's still coming, so yeah. You can relax now. Also, there's going to be a vlog going up about that trip this weekend where I go into detail about the trailer, why I bought it, what it's about, stuff like that. We'll do a better kind of an actual walkthrough tour of it later. If you want me to, just let me know in the comments down below. And also, it's June now. That means that the May giveaway is over. You can no longer sign up to win the Pop-Off leather wallets because these 5 people right here have won them. I'll reach out to you in email and I will get those to you in the mail as fast as I possibly can. And that also means that it's time for a new giveaway, and I haven't totally decided what I want to do, but I think I want to stray away from doing just EDC gear because I feel EDC gear is very personal. Not everybody is going to like something I'm giving away in that regards, like a Travex wallet. Not everybody wants a steel wallet with leather. There are vegans out there. There are people who don't like steel wallets. There are just so many different things that go into something that has kind of a basis in style and preference that I think EDC gear might be a little too narrow for all these giveaways. I need to branch out and do other things as well. So maybe I'll give away a hammock or a tent or something along those lines. I don't know. I'm working on it. I'll know in like the next week or so. But there are also some other changes. I feel like the Gleam.io sign up for the giveaway was a little too complicated. There were too many steps. It required a login and all this other stuff. And maybe people didn't know how to use it or were just kind of confused with what was going on. I've gone back to the old form. I mainly did it because there were 5 winners and I wanted to try something different. I didn't get nearly as many submissions last month as I did in previous months, and I think that's the reason. So I went back to the old sign-up page. It looks the same, but there are some new fields. There's one for are you over 18 and do you live in the US? That's not necessarily going to exclude people from winning, but it does cover me if I'm, say, giving away a knife. I can't ship that just anywhere, and I can't ship it to somebody who's under 18. So I just need to make sure I know who I'm sending these to and that I'm abiding by all the laws that I possibly can, because the laws are different everywhere for all of these things. So don't be afraid. I'm still doing international giveaways. I just needed to cover my bases on a few things just for the future. With that said, there's also one more field. This is the kit.com field. If you go to kit.com and you create your EDC, you can submit that link instead of a picture, or you can submit both a picture and your kit link. You don't necessarily have to post a picture now to submit to the EDC Weekly, but that does mean that you wouldn't be featured in the video necessarily, because it's easier to show off a picture than just a bunch of random products that I'm going to show stock imagery of, So you can now submit to the EDC Weekly without necessarily having to take a picture. And what that does is that gives you the option to get 2 more entries. So if you submit with a picture, you get 1 entry. If you submit with your kit, you get 2 additional entries. So you can do up to 3 entries without ever being featured in one of the videos or on Instagram. And what that means is that gives you a total of 4 possible entries every month. So I think it makes it a little easier for everyone, especially if you don't want to have to submit a photo of your EDC. You can go to kit.com. Now what you have to do is tag your kit.com description for your EDC with hashtag EDC Weekly, and then it will be curated, and I can feature those on Kit, and I can also see them if I search for them, but you also have to submit the link to it in your submission at edcweekly.me. If you do have questions, just hit me up on Twitter or in the comments down below, and I'll try to clarify anything that I can. I know I'm making a lot of changes to the way that we do these giveaways, but I'm really just experimenting to see what works best, and Kit wanted me to try out this feature, so I implemented it into this, which I think is pretty cool. They helped me do that, and that was really cool of them as well. So with all that out of the way, I know that was a lot. This is the EDC Weekly 024. The first submission this week comes from Justin Slover, who says he doesn't want to be followed on Instagram or social media because he just uses it to bitch and like photos of cute butts. So, there you have it. First up here, we have a 20-ounce clean canteen, so he says he never forgets his coffee. He also carries a Spyderco Paramilitary 2 in S30V, and it has brass Flytanium scales. He also carries a brass key bar, which he says is filled with keys and tools from an old Leatherman kick. There's a brass Zippo, a brass Fisher Space Pen bullet. He also carries field notes and an iPhone 6, which he says is in a simple clear case, but he doesn't know the brand. There's a modern carry slim card wallet, a replica Harvey Dent The Dark Knight coin, and a finger duster, which he says he bought from an old grumpy welder on Etsy, and says, if asked, I do not carry the brass single finger duster. It's in the photo, does air quotes, for no reason, my man. And finally, a Thomas Earnshaw Beaufort automatic, as I'm a classy millennial. For the watch, I don't know if it's Beaufort or Beaufort, because there's a Beaufort, North Carolina, and a Beaufort, South Carolina, and they're spelled exactly the same. And there's a debate over whether it's Beaufort or Beaufort for the general pronunciation, so I'm not entirely sure. And everybody always jumps on me about mispronunciation, so I don't know which one it is. If you do, let me know. Just don't be mean about it. Justin says, the leather cord lanyards are done by myself with various brass or titanium beads for ease of use and mainly aesthetics. Said simply, I just use all these items for their intended purposes. They make daily tasks easier and just generally make me happy to use, or some cases not use because I don't have to. These items all look like mine to me, if that's understandable. They follow a brass or gold theme because I enjoy the look. I more than just frequently have other tools and gear I can be seen with, but these are my true EDC items, except the duster, if anyone asks. Does finger guns. It's a really cool EDC, man. I love the brass. You've put this together really, really well, and frankly, I really like that Spyderco in brass. That's really cool. I mean, obviously it's aftermarket scales. That's really cool. Anyway, thank you, and you now have a second entry into this month's giveaway. The next EDC comes from Aviran Benjamin. I think that's how it's pronounced. He says you can follow him on Twitter and Instagram, but he didn't tell me where, so you'll have to find him. First up here is a saddleback leather front pocket ID wallet in tobacco. He also wears a Frederique Constant automatic watch, and he carries a Leatherman Surge, which has a nylon sheath and extra set of bits. He also has a Nitize Infinity carabiner, an iPhone 6 in a Nitize case, Bones by Chris Morgan, which is the pipe you see there, as well as pipe cleaners and a Zippo with a pipe insert, a Joseph Rogers Gentleman pipe smoker's knife. He also carries a Parker Jotter and has Rudy Project sunglasses, which are not pictured, and finally, pipe tobacco in a tin. He says, I use the wallet every day, and this is the most durable and comfortable wallet I've ever had. I have two more in chestnut and dark coffee brown. The watch is a gift from my wife's father, and it's too luxurious for me, but I use it every day anyway. Parker Jotter is my favorite pen. It's high quality and very reliable. The keychain has nothing on it but keys, since I don't like the bulk of a multi-tool and flashlight on it. The Leatherman gets to be used almost every day, from slicing an apple to opening boxes to repair a shelf, fixing a leak in the garden, etc. I smoke a pipe, so the pipe, lighter, the tool, the cleaners, and the tobacco comes with it. Well, congratulations for being the first pipe smoker on the EDC Weekly. Can't say I really condone smoking of any sort, but if you're gonna do it, smoking through a pipe is definitely the coolest looking way to do it, but I still can't condone it. But you do you, man. Last week, I think it was, somebody commented on how he hates it when people say that they use their knife to slice an apple. I don't necessarily use my pocket knife to slice an apple, but if I'm gonna eat an apple, I typically slice it because biting into an apple is very uncomfortable for me. I don't know if that's the same for everybody else, but I have a permanent retainer on the back of my bottom teeth. It's been there since I was a teenager, since I got my braces off, it's there. It's cemented to my teeth, and if I bite into an apple, the apple goes between that and my teeth, and it is extremely uncomfortable, so I slice my apples. Get over it. Anyway, thank you, Aviran? You now have a second entry into this month's giveaway. The third and final submission this week comes from Tyler Dutt, who you can find on Instagram at the Pyro Chiro. First up here, we have a Zero Tolerance 0301, and he also carries an iPhone 6s and an Apple leather case. For his multi-tool, he carries the Leatherman Skeletool CX. He also carries a Glock 19 with a Surefire XC1 attachment up front, and he also has Trijicon RMR for the sights. There's also a custom slide by Fire for effect. He also carries a Sharpie stainless steel pin and an Olight S1R. He has an Atlas tie bar from Etsy and a Bear Goods vertical 4-pocket wallet, which he notes is pronounced Bear, B-E-A-R. If you wanted it pronounced Bear, why would you put an X between the E and the A? Why would you do that? No one is ever going to pronounce that correctly, or at least know it without somebody telling them. Everybody is going to call it Bexar Goods, like I did a billion times in this EDC Weekly so far. Don't put an X where it doesn't go. Next up is a Seiko dive watch and Bexar Goods watch strap. Bexar, there's an X there. Tyler says, I'm a chiropractic intern. All of the items shown are with me in clinic except the Glock 19. I've been through several leather wallets. The Bexar Goods is my all-time favorite. It wears beautifully and seems to be very durable. The Glock 19 and spare mag are carried in a custom appendix style holster from Last Line of Defense. God, that's gonna kill me. Bare Goods? I'm done. I'm done. Anyway, thank you, Tyler, for sharing. Even if you gave me that terrible, terrible knowledge, you have a second entry into this month's giveaway, and thank you all for submitting. Continue to do so. As I said, I went back to the old submission form, so it's easier for you guys, but you now have additional ways to enter. You don't necessarily need a picture, but you can also add one if you want. So there you go. Please go to edcweekly.me to do that. If you found this video helpful and you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more stuff like this in the future, as well as other gear reviews, outdoor vlogs, and other things like that. Got it coming. Hit the subscribe button. If you haven't, hit the bell button beside that so you're notified when I upload a new video. Also, if you want to support what I do here, go to patreon.com/CasperTech or click any of the links down below. You can purchase the things that I talk about in this video. If you like any of the stuff from any of these people's EDCs, you can just click those links and that will give us a little bit of a kickback, help support the show. You can find us around the web. You can now find us at Mod Outdoor on Twitter and Instagram. I know it's a little redundant, but that's okay. You're gonna deal with it. I'm gonna deal with it. It's better than calling a channel that's about the outdoors Mod at Home. It's always bugged me. So now it's Mod Outdoor. No S, Mod Outdoor. Very easy, very simple. If you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at CasperTech. And until next time, live outdoors a little.